Testing, 1, 2.
Good morning. Welcome to Temple Buddhist Center's Sunday meditation service. My name is Liz, and I am honored to be of service this morning. We hope that our service this morning finds you happy and healthy, but please know that if you're struggling, we hope that Temple Buddhist Center can be a source of refuge for you as we open our hearts to you and your loved ones. Let's begin this morning with a few conscious breaths, taking a few moments to ground and to experience the body and to breathe together. Conscious breathing is where you seal the mouth and breathe deeply through the nose, pause for a moment, and then release it slowly so that the exhale is longer than the inhale. So let's begin. Breathing in, pausing for just a moment, feeling the fullness of your lungs, and releasing slowly. And as you release, checking in with the body, just being aware of what is present and alive in the body right now. And a second conscious breath. Pausing for just a moment, ventilating this precious human form, and then release slowly. And as you release, see if you can release any worry or concerns from the week, all of the energy of doing, going, striving, accomplishing. Just allow yourself a few moments to cultivate the energy of being and not doing. And a third conscious breath together. And releasing slowly. And as you release, taking time to invite into your awareness the present moment, fully arriving in the here and the now. Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we like to begin service with a chant. Chanting is an integral part of every tradition, and it's not about being a singer, it's about having a voice. Our chant today is Om Ami Dewa Ze, and Victor will lead us. And I invite Christine to tone us in.
Thank you, Liz. So Om Ami Dewa Ze, you might recognize the seed sound, Om. In the Sanskrit tradition, Om is the sound of the universe, reminding each one of us that we are a beautiful note in a grand cosmic symphony that is forever playing. And so Om Ami Dewa Ze is a chant in the Buddhist tradition that enhances compassion for all beings. And as the Buddha said, if your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. And so with that, we'll take a conscious breath. And let's begin. Om Ami Dewa Ze. 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 With a smile. Om Ami Dewa Ze. Om Ami Dewa Ze. Once more. Om Ami Dewa Ze.
Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we practice Western Buddhism, a blend of Eastern philosophy and Western psychology. This new and exciting form of spirituality is dynamic, inclusive, active, and focuses on core Buddhist insights, mindfulness, meditation, and their practical application in our daily lives. Our goal here isn't to get everyone to agree on one lineage or philosophy. Rather, it's on cultivating a shared experience of mindfulness, oneness, and love. Whether we're chanting, meditating, or sharing from the heart, we respect that you'll participate only at the level that feels comfortable for you. We take refuge in the three jewels and acknowledge these core values as expressions of the awakened mind: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We value awareness of our own Buddha nature, as well as the Buddha nature of all beings, allowing a new perspective of this and every precious moment. The second jewel is the Dharma, the truth teachings that release us from fear and delusion and help us realize the true nature of who we are. And our Sangha, our spiritual community, an essential part of growth where we practice the teachings together and support each other along every step of the path. So let's take a moment to silence any electronic devices and prepare for our meditative environment as we recite our prayer of refuge. And we'll recite this 3 times. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. Now, as we enter a time of meditation, if you have an extensive practice, then I invite you to practice in a way that's fitting for you this morning. If you're new to meditation, we'll begin with an opening dedication. We'll sound the bell 3 times. There'll be a brief guided meditation, and then we'll spend approximately 12 to 15 minutes in noble silence. Let's begin by breathing together. Conscious breath. Body, speech, and mind in perfect oneness, I send my heart with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness, transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow, and realize the true nature of who they are.
And so as the sound of the bell recedes, guiding us, showing us the way into stillness, if you need to make an adjustment in your posture or take another conscious breath or 2, whatever is necessary to partner with the body to find a new level of gentleness and ease with every out-breath. And as the breath settles in to its natural flow, its natural rhythm, the body is gentle, spacious, and light. We can bring our awareness to awareness itself, noticing when there is a sound and how the mind likes to chase after it, perhaps in the room or in the hallway or outside. Noticing how the mind enjoys the distraction of a sensation like an itch or an ache and collapses fully onto that tummy rumble or whatever the sensation is. We become aware of how the mind is easily distracted by a thought or perhaps a string of thoughts. All these things, the sounds, the sensations, the thoughts, all these things just come and go. They rise and they fall. Our practice is cultivating that vast, open, pure awareness that is the space in which these things arise, with a mind like sky, boundless, pure, vast. And those things are just like birds or clouds or weather that simply appear and disappear. Our practice is to cultivate the knower, not the things that are known. And so, connected to the body, the breath, the rise and fall of the tummy, the body is easy and light. The mind is clear yet receptive to whatever might show up. And the heart is open. We can move more deeply now into our meditation. I close my eyes and I see clearly. I stop trying to listen and I hear truth. I am silent, yet my heart sings. I seek no contact and find union. I am still and move forward. I am gentle and need no strength. I am humble and remain whole, returning again and again to the breath, returning again and again home. And so I invite you to remain in a meditative state as you bring your awareness to the sense door of sound, noticing the sound of my voice, or the sound of the air handlers, or rustling in the room. And as you become aware of the sense door of sound, at the same time, can you keep a small amount of your awareness on that deep, still silence within? In other words, can you keep a small amount of awareness on that silence that is not dependent on external circumstances? Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of touch as you notice the feeling of your clothing upon your skin, or the feeling of the chair or the cushion beneath you. And as you become aware of material and matter and form, can you keep a small amount of your awareness on the formless? In other words, awareness of awareness. Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of sight as you slowly begin to open your eyes, allowing in a little bit of light, not focusing hard on anything, just letting objects come to you. And as you become aware of colors and forms and walls, people, things, can you keep a small amount of your awareness on the space around them, as if you were looking at a negative photograph? Can you sense the space in this room, around the building, around our planet that's hurling through space at fantastic speeds? We're never in the same space 2 moments in a row. And I'd like to bring your awareness to the breath as we take a conscious breath together. And as you release, be present in the here, in the now, in this time, and in this place. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Christine. So, good morning, everyone. And just in case there was anybody out there that might want to do some coloring, there are little coloring sheets right back by the door there, just in case. We know when Victor speaks, this could be hours. And of course, I want to wish everybody, today is a very auspicious day. In many traditions, it is a very sacred day, so, and many members of our Sangha, not only near, here in proximity, but also all over the world, many members of our Sangha celebrate Ramadan, Passover, Easter, and so we want to celebrate with them in our hearts their joy of the sacred, and let our hearts also fill and expand with that as well today. So many of you probably heard the story of how Einstein, after many years of working with the math, actually his special theory of relativity was downloaded into his consciousness in a moment of stillness. Or you've heard stories of the Zen students who struggle and wrestle with a Zen koan only to give up and then find themselves in Satori, or having an awakened experience. Or maybe you've heard the story of the monk who was wrestling with this difference between defeat and surrender. And so the monk went to 4 great masters. And he went to the first master and he asked the question, what is the difference between defeat and surrender? And the master looked at him and said, the mind that wants to know is an impediment to knowing. And he was like, okay, I know that was wise, but not helpful. So he went to the second master and asked him, Master, what is the difference between defeat and suffering? And the master said, yes. Okay, again, probably very wise, but not helpful. And so he went to the third master. And this time he's really feeling frustrated. And he's like, Master, what is the difference between defeat and surrender? And the third master looked at him and said, surrender is in and of itself a path to awakening. And he's getting kind of excited. He's like, okay, now we're really onto something here. And then the master looked at him and said, and defeat are in the shoes. And so by this time, he was just a hulking heap in the hallway when the fourth master walked along and said, this is defeat, and sat down and meditated with him. And after an hour, the student said, and this is surrender. So these are all wonderful little stories to kind of share with you about defeat and surrender, but I also have a personal aspect to this and why we're talking about this today. As many of you know, people have asked me, where do the Dharma talks come from? You getting them out of a book or something like that? It's like, no. Every day of my life is a Dharma talk. There's so many opportunities for awakening, right? Most people have struggles, difficulties, challenges, problems. As practitioners, we only have opportunities to practice. I'm getting a lot of nods, some hallelujahs out there, so to speak. So as some of you also know, the past couple Sundays have been very interesting. In the course of 2 Sundays, our main microphone broke, the big singing bowl broke, a laptop was stolen, and the screen broke. We got the screen fixed, and we'll get another bowl, and we'll get another microphone. All these little things by themselves are just little trials and tribulations, right? However, I wasn't coping very well with these, so I took it into contemplation and meditation. And what I discovered was that last week, very early, it was 2 weeks ago, to be honest with you, my mother went into hospice. And so I felt I have a very strong, deep practice, and I have a lot of community around me, and the hospice angels are amazing. And so all of that seemed fine. Where it showed up was in these little things that were popping up. I wasn't coping with them. So in my meditation and in my contemplation, I followed the little slings and arrows, to quote Shakespeare. I followed the little ones back to the core issue, was this helplessness, this surrender to my mother's transition or transitioning. And so the little things became big things because of this larger process that I'm in the middle of. So defeat and surrender are what are on my heart to talk about. And so that's why we're talking about this today. So the invitation, ultimately, the invitation today is to play with, to explore this idea of defeat and surrender. And so we'll talk about that today and shed some interesting perspectives on this. So surrender is a key practice in virtually every spiritual tradition. The very term spirituality itself may be equated with an intention to surrender one's life and being to a wisdom that transcends our own human understanding. In Judaism and Christianity and even in Islam, the practice of surrender is primary. Although the actual meaning of the word can vary within and among these traditions. In one sense, surrender might mean obeying God's laws or adopting certain beliefs or practicing a particular ritual at a certain time. However, at a deeper level, the practice of surrender means bringing each life experience and every aspect of our being into the continuous awareness of God's presence. And so for me as a practitioner, this brings a certain amount of reverence and beauty and love and understanding to some of these other traditions, to where at some point I even held disdain, I even held wounds and traumas from some of these traditions. But I'm able to reshape those by understanding the deeper meanings. And so in Eastern traditions, such as Taoism or Buddhism, surrender is also a central spiritual practice, although it is generally not perceived as surrendering to a personal God, but rather attuning one's consciousness to the flow, to the chi, to the Tao or the Dharma, the truth. Dharma has two meanings. One meaning of Dharma is the teachings and the writings. The other meaning of Dharma is the truth of this moment. So the practice of meditation facilitates this attunement at an ever-deepening level. When we actually employ this practice in our life, we discover a great paradox. The practice of surrender consists largely of seeing all of the ways in which we are not surrendered. Kind of funny, isn't it? In the Buddhist tradition, it's always not what something is. They teach you what it is by teaching you what it's not. It's the same way in this practice of surrender. You see, in seeing all the ways in which we are not surrendered, and then as those present themselves and we come to the realization of the ways that we are stuck, in the ways that we are clinging, in the ways that we are avoiding, or not surrendered, it is then being willing to let go of these ways that we are not surrendered. Now, most of these obstacles are somewhat unconscious. We don't even know that they are there until we intentionally engage in the practice of surrender. We bring attention to hidden resistance simply by setting the intention to practice complete surrender. As we engage our practice, we will begin to see the myriad and sometimes subtle ways which we avoid being fully open to the activity of flow, to the presence of this moment, to chi, to spirit, to the divine, whatever name you want to put on it. Noticing this, we simply return to the intention of surrender, being willing to let go of the resistance the best way that we can. We sit with the intention of simply being present to each moment and allow life to unfold naturally, organically. We may notice that some obsessive thinking arises. We may get lost in planning or some future activity or rehashing some past event. Noticing this, we simply return to the intention of just being. We let go of our involvement in thinking and return to simply sitting and breathing. We try to do this without struggle, without judgment. We just notice that obsessive thinking is obscuring our intent to be fully present with everything that arises. We notice how we're attempting to push away our present moment experience. This is called aversion or resistance. We're noticing how the mind clings to, one of my teachers used to say, during the meditation, if any survival instincts show up, just come back to the breath. This interesting insight into how almost all of it is some sort of a survival instinct. Some coping mechanism that's trying to kick in because it doesn't like this just sitting with the mind. It thinks that it's going to somehow die. And that's what the Buddhists mean when they talk about die before you die. It is a death. It is a death of the egoic mind states. And the ego doesn't want to go peacefully. So another obstacle to surrender is attachment, to wanting something that is perceived to be absent. Wanting some particular experience or condition or person or object that is not present in this moment. This shows up when we're wanting our meditation to be a certain way. We want a sign. Just give me a sign. That's all I need. We want things to arrive or show up in a certain form or a way. Now, this is referred to as craving. And a similar obstacle to craving is possessively holding on to some existing experience or condition, or holding on to a relationship or an object such as a bell or a microphone or a laptop or the screen working correctly. And this is clinging. This is attachment. And for me, as the practice unfolds, as we mature spiritually, the clinging and attachment is always going to show up first, all right? Whatever just got broken, there's the reaction of the body, right? And the gap between when your practice kicks in, at first it could be a day or two later when you're like, okay, I surrender, it is gone, I release it, So 2 days later, you're finding peace. But that gap shortens. As you mature spiritually, it can happen almost at the same time. And there's this, It might even sound like that, I'm not sure. So wanting that which is not present and resisting that which is present are two primary obstacles to living a surrendered life. These very same forces are the primary causes of unhappiness and suffering. One of my teachers used to say the disease of the mind is that the mind always wants things to be different than the way they are, and so we suffer. These very same forces are the primary causes of suffering. Most transformational moments, spiritual, creative, personal, involve this sequence of intense effort, frustration, and then letting go. The effort, the slamming against the walls, the struggling, the striving, the intensity, the exhaustion, the fear of failure balanced against the concept that it's not okay to fail, all of these are part of the process. They're part of the process by which human beings break out of the cocoon of human limitations and become willing on the deepest level to open to the infinite, to open to the divine, to open to the Dharma. And in doing so, receive the power that we all begin to become aware of in our core. It is also the difference between power and force. Force is us trying to manipulate the external world to get what we want. Power is realizing that we have always had everything we want. It's always been with us. We just didn't know what we wanted until we experience it. We think we wanted the car, the job, the relationship, the new clothes, a new place to live, sunshine, a screen or a bowl or a laptop or a microphone. No, what we've always wanted is peace. It's what everyone wants. And so, this is the same process over and over, whether we are mystics or artists or people trying to solve difficult life problems. The practice of surrender is not necessarily based on the desire to be holy or to be pure, but simply to be at ease, to be happy, which is the deepest desire of every human being. True surrender brings true peace. And in embodying peace, what is revealed to us is our true nature, our Buddha nature, our Christ nature, whatever name you want to put on it. And embodying that, we are able to share that with the world instead of spending all of our life looking for peace out there, looking for love out there. What's been necessary is for us to share that with the world, not find it out there. We're coming home. To us, what we've been looking for has been looking for us. And when we find that, that's what we are able to share. It's what the Buddha meant on his deathbed when he said, "Be a lamp unto yourself." When you become a light unto yourself, when you find the peace, the joy, the ease of well-being, that's what you then get to share with the world instead of the fear, the seeking, the looking, the striving, the efforting. The world doesn't need more of that. So I want to close by sharing this poem with you called On Rivers and Roads. The heart is like a river, wandering through time and space, endlessly yearning for the taste of the sea. The mind is like a road, hard and straight, reaching from city to town to village, endlessly connecting place to place. The journey of the heart makes little sense to the mind. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Why do you wander so aimlessly, wasting time and energy? The heart replies, as gravity is to water, gathering it ever into the sea, so is the yearning for the divine to the heart, drawing it ever into the one. When the heart surrenders to her yearning, life becomes a river, flowing with no effort, moving with no design, and with the absolute certainty that it is taking us home.
Thank you, Victor. So let's take a moment to embody these teachings before we move into our loving kindness meditation. Just take a deep inhale and exhale. So as we move into our loving kindness practice, I invite you to get comfortable. You may have to adjust yourselves. And many people like to make the Anjali mudra, putting their hands in front of their heart. You may want to place one or both hands over your heart, or you may want to keep your hands in your lap. And if that's the case, I invite you to have them facing upwards. Now I invite you to bring to mind perhaps a puppy or a kitten somebody has just handed you. And how does that feel in your heart? Notice that warmth, that tenderness, that love that you feel for this tiny being that you're holding. And holding on to that feeling, bring to mind a vision of yourself, a full body image of this form with your name, who has accrued the many experiences, and recite silently to yourself, "May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be safe from inner and outer dangers. May I be well in body and mind. And may I be at ease and happy." And as you take a conscious breath and inhale and exhale, and just imagine that light within your heart emanating throughout your whole body. Now I invite you to think of someone that you care for, a friend, partner, family member, and imagine that they are sitting in front of you. And as that love and warmth and light is emanating from your body to them, surrounding them, recite these words of loving kindness. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. And may you be at ease and happy. And conscious breath as you inhale and exhale. Now I invite you to think of an acquaintance, perhaps the barista that makes your coffee, a store clerk, maybe a Sangha member that you don't know very well. And imagine them sitting in front of you as this tenderness and love surrounds them. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. And may you be at ease and happy. And inhale. And as you exhale, that warmth and that light grows and emanates throughout your body and throughout the room. And now bring to mind somebody in your life who may be challenging, a boss or a coworker, or a political figure. And if it feels safe for you to sit across from them, then do that. But if not, just send them loving kindness to wherever they are in the world. And say to them, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. And may you be at ease and happy. Let's take a conscious breath. And finally, envision the whole world. All of the animals and humans and fish and birds, every sentient being on every surface of the planet. And let's send to them all loving kindness. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. And may you be at ease and happy. In conscious breath. As that light within your heart envelops everything in the world. In the true spirit of dana, the Buddhist practice of generosity, temple services are given freely. And in the same way, if you choose to give, please give with a generous heart, not in return for something you have received, but so that others who may seek refuge in the Sangha may find it here in this temple. Dana boxes are located on the lower floor near the door and at the front of the balcony. Thank you to all of our wonderful volunteers and to our TBC ambassadors, those who have committed to regular electronic donations. It's not about the amount. The monthly giving helps us to set a budget here at TBC. If you would like to make a donation or become an ambassador, there are cards in the backs of the seats there with a QR code. You can just scan that and it'll take you right to the page to do that. Thank you to Victor for sharing your wisdom with us and to Christine for your beautiful music. And let us prepare now to close our service with the Bodhicitta dedication. May the pure, brilliant sun of Bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. And with our hands together in front of our hearts, let us go forth from this place, entering each moment in innocence, guided by the wisdom of our hearts. And as we open our hands, open our eyes, and shine our light into the world, namaste. Victor has a few announcements.
Thank you so much, Liz. Thank you, everyone. Just a quick, few brief announcements. Don't forget coffee and cookies and tea downstairs in Temple Space. And be sure and don't be shy. Say hi and meet people. And then there is our post-service discussion group at 10:15. As soon as you exit the meditation hall doors to the left, right down this hallway. So please go down and get some refreshments and meet some folks and then come back up for that. Also, our Earth Week kickoff is starting very soon, next weekend. So next Sunday we have a tabling event. There's over 15 to 16 organizations that will be joining us, that all of these organizations deal with different ways to bring sustainability and environmental practices to our homes so that we can practice this as well. And also, you might find a group that you might want to get involved with that are doing some really neat things right here in Kansas City. And then, of course, on the 23rd is our tree giveaway. And lots of, if you go out to the front counter, of course, on the front counter there is the newsletter sign up. There's also a volunteer sign up, and Victor's Orchid family is out there. When I got to the door this morning, they were all gathered by the door. They wanted to come to Sangha this morning and share in this auspicious day. So please go out and enjoy the orchids. I was inspired because Liz took me to Powell Gardens for their orchid delirium the other day. She knows how much I love and appreciate orchids. So I brought my family up to share with you guys. And don't forget, also registration is now open for our 4-day silent meditation retreat honoring Wesak, the auspicious high sacred days in the Buddhist practice, celebrating the birth, enlightenment, teaching, and transition of the Buddha. And so that is May 16th through the 20th. You can attend as a resident, so you'll stay there overnight with us during those days. You can come as a commuter, or you could also come and join us virtually. The theme for the retreat this year is the contemporary contemplative, exploring the new monasticism. And so some wonderful opportunities for discussion and deepening of your practice. And then thanks so much to Liz, and she has created our online Temple Buddhist store. So we have a little shop now so that you can get things that have Temple Buddhist Center logo on it. So pretty much. So thank you so much for all your work on that, Liz. It's wonderful. I've already been seeing water bottles with stickers and some cars and things, so it's kind of fun when those pop up out of nowhere, kind of like surprise lilies. And then finally, I will leave this up here for you guys. You can take a picture, look at all the wonderful programs that our volunteers are sharing with us each and every day. I believe, Beth, is that a puppet? Looking in the window of the back door. Beth is doing puppets with all the children. She'll talk about that next service. Quick reminder, today at 1 o'clock, every second Sunday is meditation seminar. Meditation seminar is simply an hour of time to come together as Sangha to talk about any obstacles, difficulties, or questions you have with your meditation practice, with your mindfulness practice, or perhaps a Buddhist perspective on a life circumstance. So that's what seminar is. Today's second Sunday, so that's what's going on at 1 o'clock. So again, I'll leave this up there. Thank you everyone so much. Oh, our lending library got a whole bunch of new books this week, so please stop by and check out if there's anything in there that resonates with your heart. As you go into your day, I wish you peace, blessings, and flowers.